good. She's in rehab now. Christmas Eve.
It's such a great time. That means you have to have everything prepared for it.
Yeah,
Trees up,
yeah,
packages are wrapped.
kids are on top of it.
They ready for it.
They're ready for it.
Is she, they said the visitor at the rehab place?
Yeah.
It's the one in the village?
No. She's in Lexington.
Good night.
I don't see her.
Yeah, I'll send you the address.
I almost wore my life.
Got the minister. I got the charge to visit to see.
Chairman Miller.
Joe.
I didn't even say nothing to you about the ball since your wife was sick. I didn't even mention it. 'Cause there wasn't no time for no boy.
But I still like to make a donation.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna mention that. So I said, this man's wife in the hospital. Ain't got time to think about no food and like that.
Yeah.
That's not the career spot.
Okay. We got someone to give the money. So we gonna do it public? Public?
Dr. Haywood.
And you been working or you been staying home?
Dr. Haywood coming to the meeting.
Well, my long-term assignment ended, but I went Friday. But no, I've been being there with her because I especially want to be there in the mornings when the doctors come and that's everything.
Got the right thing to do.
Yes, sir. I told Dr. Presley that I'll be here until 7 and then I'll leave so I can get there in time. Because I've been staying overnight. So we will. If you want to be here,
How you doing, preacher?
when they honor the high school, since that's one of my schools.
Well, all of them is good.
Well, yeah, they're all
Good evening.
you know what I mean. They assign me.
Okay, I hope you get it.
They got a game tonight.
Thank you, man. Okay.
Hey, Dr. Gale. Thank you, Dr. Gale. I like these things here. I don't like this.
I tell you that when I first got ready. It would be nice, but you know, January is when they honor the board. Oh, okay. We'll hold out until then.
Test it. Is it on? No. Test it. Okay. Okay, we're good.
It is now 6:00 p.m. The chair would like to call this December the 16th, 2025 regular call board meeting to order. Madam Clerk, has the public been notified?
They have.
And I do confirm a quorum. This time, we get a motion to go into executive session for personnel matters, please.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion, we, enter executive session for personnel recommendation for hires and terminations.
A second.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Mr. Davis to go into executive session for personnel matters. All in favor show by the raising of the right hand. Thank you. That would be 7-0, Ms. Brown. Just want the audience to know that we won't be in that long. Just hold on to your coattails. We'll be back shortly. All right. Thank you. Bet you are. Yeah, my man, yeah. Checking right on.
Not my own couple. What is this? Can't work that because that thing was 88 pages long.
It's time the chair will ask for a motion to exit executive section. No action taken.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I make a motion, we exit executive session, no actions taken.
A second.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Mrs. Green. All in favor of executive session, no action taken. Show by the raising of the right hand. That would be 7. Oh, Ms. Brown. At this time, we would like to welcome everyone to our December 16th regular call board meeting. It is, we're getting ready to go out for the holidays. And we do thank you for all your hard work, our administrative staff, our teachers aide, for being supportive, our bus drivers, maintenance, and most of all, we thank you parents, you students. We welcome you to our board meeting. At this time, we'd like to have our pledge of allegiance and flag and a moment of silence. Mr. Davis, please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. You may be seated.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Mr. Davis, to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, shoulder by the raising of the right hand. Ms. Brown. At this time, Mr. Davis, do we have any public comment?
Chairman Miller, yes, we do. We have public comments from Mr. Fry of Blythewood. The topic is the Academy for Skill Technology Trade Charter High School up for trade skills in Ridgeway, and what he's asking for the district collaboration sponsorship. Mr. Fry, could you please come up?
Chairman Miller, Superintendent Presley, school board members and staff. Thank you for this opportunity to appear before you once again since our introduction to you in October. Subsequently, we submitted our required letter of intent to the South Carolina Department of Education and this district, naming this district as our intended sponsor for our planned start of school operations for February 27-28 or fiscal year 27-28 in August of 27 at our Ridgeway site. Additionally, earlier this month, we attended South Carolina Charter Alliance annual conference. We met individually with State Department of Education staff, particularly with charter application and Office of School Facilities directors extensively as to requirements and procedures to be accomplished as part of our charter application to be submitted not later than January 30th of 26. Our team, even through the holidays, yes, is working diligently to timely complete our work, and we look forward with your district staff and this board to enhance the education opportunities for all the students in Fairfield County and this fast-growing region. I thank you very kindly, wish you all a Merry Christmas, and thank you, Dr. Twilly, as well. Any questions, we'll be more than happy to at any time.
Yes. Mr. Fry,
Yes, sir.
we don't, in doing public comment, we don't usually ask questions, but sure, you and Mr. Presley will be talking, and he will, if any of the board members have any questions, they'll run it through Mr. Presley or myself, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We had a great session, I thought, first time.
Yeah.
It's groundwork.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fry. All right. At this time, we would have our, what would that be? Student recognition, Fairfield Central High School.
Good evening, Chairman Miller, members of the board, Superintendent Presley. We are here tonight for our final academic recognition of the first half
It's not on.
of our school year. And last but certainly not least, we will recognize the students from Fairfield Central High School who scored a 100 on the EOC last year during the administration in the fall as well as the spring.
100.
At this time, Mr. Ellery, principal, and his assistant principal, Ms. Sparks, will recognize the students.
Good evening, Superintendent Mr. Presley, Board Chair Mr. Miller, and esteemed board members. The Board of Trustees, it's my honor to stand before you today to celebrate the remarkable achievements of our students at Fairfield Central High School. These young scholars have truly exhibited excellence in all, earning perfect scores on the end-of-course exam as well as the advanced placement exam during the 24-25 school year. Their commitment to academic excellence truly represents our community as we continue to grow Griffin greatness. Before we recognize our students, I would like to express gratitude to our amazing teachers and staff whose guidance prepared our students to pursue and accomplish their dreams. And also, a big thank you to Dr. Swilly for your leadership as the principal during the 24-25 school year. Now, please join me in recognizing and applauding these outstanding students for their accomplishments.
For AP Calculus, we have Jamie Brown. Zara Burrell for Biology 1 and English 2. Adrian Cole, English 2 and Biology 1.
Straight up, baby.
Oh, wow.
Kylie Curley, English 2.
That's it.
Eden Luxick, English 2. Logan Luxick, English 2 and Biology 1.
Awesome.
Trayon Rivers, Biology 1. Honor Roberts, English 2. Sanjana Kumar, Biology 1 and English 2. Forrest Smith, Biology 1. Bradford Trapp, U.S. History. And Jahira Williams, Biology 1 and English 2.
Now, can I, right,
The person in front of you is taller.
there you go. There you go. There you go. Let's kind of switch out, yeah. Yeah, there we go.
All right. Now let's get close.
Okay. Clap your hands for our scholars. Outstanding, outstanding, outstanding scholars. That's awesome. Yeah. All right. All right. Now this right here may be a little boring, but we're going to talk a little audit. So, so if your parents got to leave, we'll let you leave. I'm just going to be real with you. You can stay. I'm sorry, Mr. Andrews. But these numbers can get kind of boring. Yes, sir. Wow.
Chairman Miller.
All right, Mr. Robinson.
Boring is good.
Yes, sir. Want to keep us out of trouble. You are absolutely right.
Pays the bills.
Good evening, Chairman Miller, to the board members, Mr. Presley. So this evening, we have the presentation of our audit report for fiscal year 24-25. We have Mr. Andrew Dobson, the firm of Holiday Schwartz and Company.
Yes.
To the presentation.
All right, Mr. Andrew. Awesome.
Good to see y'all tonight.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
Telling somebody that nothing that clears a room out faster than the stomach bug. Fortunately, this is still happening with those two. Just to kind of give you an update, typically when I come to the December meeting, I'm giving you your audit, your communication letter, and the one-page summary. You have the one-page summary. The two things you don't have are the audit and the communication letter. The OMB, who we rely on to tell us what we're required to audit for your single audit, you have that because you spend over $750,000 in federal funds. They were extremely late putting that out. There was a major change that took place at the end of '24 that affected the 2025 compliance supplement. It's about a 2,300 page document. It's typically out by June 30th. The draft of it came out August 20th, and then the government shut down for 41 days. It just came out the week of Thanksgiving. And so we are actively working through all our audits. Yours is right there, ready to be issued. I'm waiting on one legal letter and one other little thing. Anticipate having your audit done and completed by the end of this week. We just didn't have it, all the I's dotted and the T's crossed to bring to you tonight. But we have audited the numbers. I've got the numbers on the summary schedule that you have there. So as we always do, I'm going to quickly talk through the communication letter that you'll get a copy of, and then we'll talk through the numbers as well. So once you get your communication letter, I'm going to kind
some of the pieces that you'll see in there. And the first thing I want to talk about is significant risks identified. And this is not a new concept. What we do in our world is called risk-based auditing. So we look at the district and the district's financials, and we perform a risk assessment on it. The powers that be, GASB, and those who handle all the oversight for governmental audits felt it prudent for us to put this in there this year. So it talks about improper revenue recognition, so making sure that when we're looking at revenues, that all the criteria have been met to record that as a revenue. And the other big one is management overrider controls. So looking at all the internal controls, making sure if there's somewhere that management could circumvent those controls, compensated controls in place. These are things we've always looked into. I've been doing this over 15 years now. It's something we've always done. They just wanted us to draw your attention to it. So that's a new section. I just didn't want you to see it and go, oh, there's significant risks. Did we, something happen? The top of page 2, again, this year, we'll talk about your significant accounting policies. Last year, we talked about the adoption of the bulk purchase threshold, where when you're buying assets under $5,000. Now we're looking at it at a different threshold when you're buying a whole bunch of stuff. So the big, easy thing to think about is one-to-one tech refreshes when you're buying a whole bunch of computers at once, which y'all did last year, making sure those are getting capitalized. This year, in that same arena, talking about significant accounting policies, the district adopted GASB 101, and we briefly talked about this last year, that it would be coming into play. This district has long had a policy of paying out some of its annual leave. You can carry over up to so many days. It would pay out a certain portion or percentage of those days. But what GASB 101 did is it said, okay, we don't want you to just look at what you have to pay out. We want you to look at all the time that all of the employees at the district have that can be used for time off in the future. So the real big thing that this pulled in this year is sick leave. So most districts, yours is one of them, you can carry up to 90 days of sick over. If you have an employee who leaves and goes to another district, 99.9% of the time they can take that 90 days with them. If you have a teacher or an employee who retires and they're in the retirement system, they can transfer that for credit. They can get service credit for that. It's not something that's paid out per se when they leave, but if they didn't have that time built up and they needed extra days in the future and they had that bank, they'll be able to use it. So GASB 101 said, well, we want you to try and estimate that. And in the general sense, it seems pretty easy. But what Mr. Robinson got a lovely joy of doing with his team is looking at every employee across your entire district and figuring out what are they going to do with their hours that they have as of June 30th, 2025 for the entirety of their employment in Fairfield County School District, and trying to project what he thinks will happen. So as you can imagine, he had a lot of fun doing that, as did all our districts. Nobody, we do 10 districts, and nobody is like this one. It's probably the most difficult GASB we've had to implement lately because of the level of estimation that goes into it. But we feel like the number that he came up with, based on looking at historical trends on days left on the table when somebody left and wasn't able to transfer them for credit or anything like that, and looking at historical trends on the number of days used and things of that nature, we think that the number was reasonable. Next, we looked at your significant accounting estimates. So one of those estimates is that compensated absences liability. Another one's the allowance for doubtful accounts with regards to taxes receivable. So as you can imagine, at a point in time on June 30th, there's taxes that have been billed but not yet been collected. And Mr. Robinson does an estimation of what he feels based on historical trends and collection rates will be collected of that delinquent tax balance, and that was an appropriate estimation. Estimated useful lives and depreciation expense on capital assets. Here we're looking and making sure if you got a new roof, you're not putting a new roof on for 5 years, you're putting it on for 30 or 40 years. Making sure that that useful life of those assets is accurately reflecting how long it's going to be of use to the district. Because when we get to your government line financial statements and we're booking that depreciation, that's the district recognizing that piece of usage of that asset each year. So we look at those useful lives, that was appropriate. And then the next two are the net pension liability and the net OPEB liability, which are those two big nasty numbers on your statement of that position that you're not gonna have to write a check for tomorrow. You contribute, your employees contribute at the required percentage rates that PEBA sets. We do look and make sure that you have made all those contributions that you have. We also look and make sure that when employees leave or come into the district, that they are appropriately reported in the correct period to make sure that that actuarial evaluation done for pension and OPEB accurately reflects your liability. So those were appropriate as well. Uncorrected and corrected misstatements. So you had one uncorrected proposed adjustment from subscription-based information technology agreements. It's basically a big word. Think about Adobe. So you go buy Adobe, you buy a 3-year license. That's a subscription-based information technology. You bought technology, you use it for 3 years, and you don't own it. The GASB looks at it as if you didn't. So you prepaid $35,311 related to those agreements that wasn't booked. That was immaterial, but we were required to report it. And then on your government-wide financial statements, where, and we'll talk about this a little bit in a minute, but where we are looking and we're putting things like capital assets and long-term debt, things of that nature on there. You had leased assets, so I think the biggest example is copier. You had total leased assets of about $240,000 with an offsetting liability of about $250,000. That was not booked, and then again with subscription-based information technology, about $175,000 of those. Neither one of those are material, either individually or collectively. It creates a lot more reporting for the footnotes, and so there's no effect on your audit by not booking those. We're just required to report that to you. And then of all the things that we did find when we were doing the audit that we reported, none of those individually or collectively were material. So when we were given the financial statements, if you will, to do the audit, they were materially correct. We had no disagreements with management over financial accounting, reporting, or auditing matters. So when we started talking about GASB 101, we didn't have an argument about how it should be implemented. If we did, we would bring that to you as the board and tell you how that was resolved. Management's consultations with other accountants. Again, if I started talking to Mr. Robinson about 101 and he didn't like what I said, he went and asked another accounting firm, he would be required to tell me, and I would tell you that that did not take place. The only other thing that you'll see in here is the modification to the auditor's report. And typically this is something we don't have, but this is actually the second year in a row you're gonna see that in your audit report. All this is drawing your attention to is when you look at the audit report, you're gonna see an emphasis of the matter paragraph that says you implemented GASB 101, in our opinions, not affected by it. So it talks about a modification, but all that modification really is that emphasis of matter paragraph. That's that letter pretty much in its entirety. Are there any questions on it before we go into the numbers? Perfect. All right, now you can look at that lovely yellow highlighted piece of paper. I think I gave all of y'all one of them so you didn't have to turn around and look. And I'm gonna start at the top left-hand corner. So I'm gonna use the word projected. You're projected to receive an unmodified opinion. It should be an unmodified opinion by the end of this week. It's highest and best we can give, and it's always great to be able to come and tell you that. Next is your report on internal controls. You'll see no findings. So as a part of your audit, one of the things that we do is we review your internal controls over the financials. So we're looking at things like internal controls over accounts receivable, accounts payable, cash in, cash out, things like that, payroll, internal controls actually of the preparation of financial statements. We don't issue an opinion like we do on the actual numbers. But if we did have something to draw your attention, we would either have other matters, significant deficiency, material weakness. And as we have no findings, which means that your internal controls were all operating effectively and they were effectively designed and implemented. Next is your major programs opinion. So this year we looked at Title I and ESSER. So this is, if you want to think about it, this is that single audit piece. So we looked at Title I and ESSER. You can see that was about $3.1, almost $3.2 million that we looked at, and that was about 41.5% of your total federal spending that we looked at this year. We do issue an opinion on your compliance with those OMB compliance requirements, whether you materially complied and you're projected to receive an unmodified opinion, which again means you materially complied with all of those. Then you'll see findings reported under that. So just on the financial statement side, how we look at internal controls, we also look at your internal controls over the compliance requirements this year for Title I and ESSER. Again, if we found anything, we would bring that to you as a finding, but we had none. So all of the internal controls over those compliance areas were all effectively designed and implemented as well. Top right-hand corner is your government-wide financial summary. I'm not really going to go into these numbers because it's not really where your district resides on a daily basis. You really operate in that current year activity summary, which is your funds summary. The only difference between the two, your government-wide has your capital assets in it, your long-term debt, that pension and OPEB, and that compensated assets is not in it. Looking at your current year activity summary right in the middle, I'm going to skip the general fund because we're going to talk about it in a little more detail because it's really where the district's unrestricted funding resides. So I want to talk about that in a little more detail. The first thing I want to talk about is your special revenue fund, special projects. Started at the beginning of the year with a fund balance of just over $201,000. Ended the year just over $205,000. This is the major fund that holds your Title I, your IDEA for special services, ESSER, any of those locally, state, or federally restricted dollars. The other thing that is in this number is your pupil activity funds. So those are going to be those funds, those fees that you're collecting at the school level from your students for field trips, beta club, things of that nature that are being turned around and used in the classroom or in those programs. Next is the Special Revenue Funds EIA. That's from the EIA Act of 1984. These funds don't show a fund balance, so you don't record the revenue until you have the offsetting expenditure. Many of these funds you can carry over 1 year. So if you don't spend it in the year you receive it, if they have a carryover provision, you're able to carry it to the next year. So you don't show a fund balance, you show that unearned revenue. So you brought in $2.6 million. You spent, $2.65 million, spent 1.2, almost 1.3 million, and then you transferred 1.367 million to the general fund. And if you remember, I guess it's maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, you used to get EIA assistance for salaries and fringe. And then we all heard about this new aid to districts and the EFA was all going away. That transfer is the same as that old salary and fringe. It's just aid to districts going to the general fund to assist in covering some of those salaries and benefits that are being paid out of the general fund. Next is food service. Food service started the year just over $24,000 in fund balance. Brought in just over $2.2 million in revenues, spent $2.287 million. Had some other financing sources and uses coming in of $81.6 to give you an ending fund balance just over $47,000 this year. Debt service this year brought in 3.5, almost 3.6 million. You spent on paying principal and interest and other fees 1.23 million, and transferred 2.28 million out to the capital projects fund. And what that transfer represents, when you do a short-term bond, like y'all do, you don't get a bottom line effect, but you're using tax dollars, those debt tax revenues, to pay that principal and interest, but it's not gonna show up as an expenditure. That's moving over the net cash effect that you issued that bond for capital projects in the future. So your ending debt service fund balance is just over 2.7 million. Capital projects, as I just mentioned, started out just over 6.4 million. You had no revenue there, spent 3.3 million on projects this year. And again, you have a $4.45 million transfer in. Part of that's from that debt service transfer, part of that's from the general fund as well. So now looking at the bottom left-hand corner, talking about the general fund summary. Total revenues for the general fund this year were $45,631,507. That was 883, almost 884,000 more than the prior year, but that was 1.38 million more than you had budgeted. Total expenditures this year are 44.8, almost 44.9 million. That was 3.1 million more than you spent in the prior year, but just under 2.1 million less than you had budgeted. You had a small premium on bonds last year in the general fund. Transfers in of 1.45, that's predominantly that EIA transfer that I was talking about just a minute ago. And then transfers out of just under 2.1 billion. Again, transfer out predominantly that transfer to capital projects. So what that did for the year, that moved your ending fund balance to $18,305,455, which is 43.5% of your current year. It's 40.8% of your FY 25 expenditures. It's 38.99% of your FY 25 budgeted expenditures. And the budget passed for FY 26 at almost 49.2 million, is 37.2% of that. So y'all are in a really good spot as far as fund balance goes. Look into the future, we always like to see people at least 16 to 22, 24%. So y'all are in a really good spot. Moving forward, let's see here. Big changes this year. Ad valorem was up about 91,000. Interest this year was 845,000. A lot of that came from the county this year, and it was well over budget by about 765,000, conservatively budgeted there. Manufacturer's depreciation and motor carrier continue to exceed budget. We do, like I said, we do 10 of these. Every district I have done a presentation to, they have been well over budget. Unassigned fund balance in the general fund is 14.2 million. That's 31.67% of your current year expenditures. And of the capital project, 7.55 million. You had about 67,000 on contracts that you had already signed left to spend at the end of the year. One of the things we always like to talk about is GASB 77 in your FELOs. So I got the report the other day, and just to remind you, FELOs are done at the county level. The county enters into these to encourage, entice, draw in these companies. It's not something that any of our school districts necessarily have a say in how that conversation goes. But your tax revenues will reduce $896,027 under FELO agreements. So they have two ways they do it. It's a FELO, so a fee in lieu of tax, and special source revenue credits. And they kind of they've kind of used both of them to get them to the number where they need to be. So your FELOs accounted for about 748,000, and your special source revenue credits are about 147,500. That's all in the general fund. Debt service, your tax revenues were reduced about 91,000. 76,000 of that was FELO, and about 15,000 was special source revenue credits. That will be in a footnote towards probably the middle of the audit. That's at the end of the notes, but it'll lay all those numbers out. You're not getting any FELO. You're getting some from the state that the state entered into. But as far as the county, you're not being allocated any of that. It kind of gives you an idea of what could have been there. The caveat to that whole discussion always is, yes, our tax revenues were reduced, but you kind of have to go under the assumption that they would have come whether or not they had it or not, to be able to look at that number and to look at other economic impacts that they may have had. So, yes, sir.
I do have a question. Is there any way that we can figure out or get an idea of what's included in FELO agreements that have already been confirmed?
Mr. Robinson has my lovely spreadsheet that the county shares with me, and it lays out, because I have to do a whole bunch of massaging and getting the numbers out. But I've got the original, and I've got how we calculated your numbers, and I sent that to Mr. Robinson and shared it with him. But it's got it by company, and it breaks out each company's FELO and SSRC, their assessed value, what it would have been, and all that. And if we need to have a conversation and sit down and talk, we can look at it. I think this conversation's been going on for 7, 10 years, since it came out and we had to start reporting on this. But all in all, I mean, a really good year. Kept fund balance at a very healthy level. Had a very healthy transfer to capital projects to be able to kind of do that debt-free spending, if you will, on capital improvements that are bigger coming in the future. Are there any other questions?
Anybody got anything, I heard you said about the unmodified opinion. Can you, just elaborate a little bit on that?
So there's a couple of different kinds of opinions we can give. You have an unmodified, you can go unmodified, qualified, adverse, or disclaimer. Unmodified is the highest we can give. That is, everything's materially correct, there's nothing that wasn't corrected, and then it kind of tiers down from there. So to be able to have an unmodified opinion is a great thing, and especially coupled with the fact you have an unmodified opinion with no findings, which means we didn't find anything material that had to be corrected. Because we can issue an unmodified opinion, even if we have to correct something that made any material correction, but then you would see that significant deficiency or material weakness calling out, what was materially misstated. So no findings coupled with the modified opinion on both the financial statements and the single audit really speaks volume to what Mr. Robinson and his entire team are doing for the district.
Anybody have any questions? Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it.
Thank you,
If y'all
Mr.
have any
Andrews.
questions, let me know, and y'all should be getting over probably the next couple of weeks, a final copy of this as well as the letter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. It's time, we want to get our minutes from the, what's that, be the November 18th regular call board meeting. Can we get a motion, please?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the minutes from the November 18 regular call board meeting.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Mr. Davis to accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the minutes from the November 18th regular call board meeting. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. That would be 6-0. Thank you. 6. Dr. Harris had to leave. This time, our superintendent report.
Good evening, Chairman Miller, members of the board, to everyone who's still in the audience and to everyone who's out there listening. My remarks this evening will be brief, but I will highlight some of the events that have transpired since our last meeting and some of the upcoming events that are coming. First and foremost, it is the season. It is the holiday season, and it is being celebrated across our district.
Yes, it is.
If you have not heard, there have been winter concerts, Joy to the World. It's been winter extravaganza. Every one of our schools has had some type of performance spotlighting the talents of our students. So I want to give recognition to all of our fine art students and the teachers that have prepared them, and a shout out to the parents that have been taking them to practices and performances. Let's give all of them a round of applause for just celebrating. We've had winter concerts across our district, but if you haven't seen any, there's still a few more to come. December the 17th, Kelly Miller is having a performance at 1 p.m., as well as Fairfield Middle School is having a performance at 5:30 p.m. and the Magnet School is having their winter extravaganza at 1 p.m. on December the 18th. So those are the performances that are still remaining for this week if you haven't seen one yet. My second announcement has to do with athletics. So those of you who may not have witnessed it, our football team did make it to the 4th round. They fell short to Strom Thurmond. They had a tough game. It was an excellent game. Our boys stayed in it, showed tenacity, perseverance, and they fought to the very end. Congratulations to the head football coach and his staff for working with our boys, preparing them for this season, and let's give all of our athletes a round of applause for an excellent season. One of our football players, Dre Walker, was recognized as Player of the Week by WLTX. So that shows you that even though we fell short of that state championship, our players are still being recognized and highlighted. As we move on, basketball season is upon us, as well as wrestling. They have been involved in competitions thus far. Please make certain that we're going out and supporting our athletes, even during the break, the winter break, because they will be having competitions across our county as well as across the state. And our 2025 Angel Tree, for the 13th year, we have come together as a school district and a community to support our families in needs across the county. This year, I want to make sure I get my numbers correct. I think we brought holiday cheer to 94 families. Ms. Brown, is that correct?
94 families, and the 95th person was a mom.
All right, so 95 families total. The support and organization, I'm here to tell you, in my 28 years of education, I've never seen anything like it. My office was right beside everything, so I saw it being delivered, being set up, and being picked up. So we've been busy for the last, well, I'm going to say Ms. Brown has been busy, but the traffic has come through my office as well, so I've been a witness to it. So congratulations to our social workers, our counselors, Ms. Brown for organization, the community at large for all of those that volunteered to sponsor a family. I just can't tell you how thankful these families were with your generous donations. So just another thank you to everyone under the sound of my voice for everything that we were able to do for our students and our families in need here in Fairfield County. And my final announcement is to make certain that every single employee gets rest, relaxation, recharge, rejuvenation over the holiday, making certain that you're spending time with friends, family, and loved ones, and come back recharged to finish the last half of the school year. But thank you for everything that you do. It is truly a blessing to be here in Fairfield County, and I'm looking forward to being here for many years to come. So thank you, and that concludes my announcements.
All right, Mr. President. Thank you. Finance, Mr. Robinson.
Good evening again.
Good evening.
The report for this evening, the only thing you have under finance is the finance report for November of 2025. Once again, the revenues look good. For this time of year, the expenditures are what we would expect. So there are no surprises there. And we're just getting closer to January, where we'll have the bulk of our property tax revenues, which will really give us a much better picture of where we stand for the year as a whole. So it's just presented for your information, unless there are any questions or comments.
Thank you, sir. This time, overnight out-of-state field trip. Sure.
Right, good evening once again. We are here tonight for one trip. So we have the superintendent recommends the board approve the overnight trip for McCoy Liston School of Technology.
Can we get a motion?
Chairman Miller, I'd like to make a motion that we accept superintendent's recommendation that the board approve the overnight trip for McCoy Liston School of Technology.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Davis, second by Pastor Jackson, to accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the overnight field trip to McCoy Liston School of Technology. All in favor, show by raising of the right hand.
Sure.
Thank you, Dr. Sawyer. Absolutely. Operation Student Services. Dr. Kennedy.
Good evening, Chair, board members, Mr. President. Happy
Good
holidays.
evening.
First tonight on Operations and Student Services, you have a facility usage request from Fairfield Forward. They would like to use this building, the board auditorium, to host a town hall meeting on January the 13th. And as a reminder, by policy, the only fee that policy states that organization can request be waived is a space usage fee, and that is $100. That is the fee that they're requesting that the board approve tonight. And the other cost associated with the rental has been communicated to them, and they're aware of the other associated costs. So tonight's request is to waive the space rental fee, and the recommended action is the superintendent recommends the board waive the space fee for Fairfield Forward to use the district office auditorium on January 13th, 2026.
Get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion that we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the waiver fee space for Fairfield Ford to use the district office auditorium on January 13, 2026.
I second.
Motion made by Mr. Harrison Williams, second by Mr. Davis, to accept the superintendent's recommendation. Board waive the space fee for the Fairfield Forward to use the district office auditorium on January 13th, 2026. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Thank you.
second tonight, we have, an action item, second and final reading of a set of policies that were brought forth last month. The policies were policy EF, food service, policy GBC, professional staff contracts, policy GCK, professional staff assignments and transfers, and GCQC, GCQD, resignation of instructional staff and administrative staff. These policies, again, were put out there for our administrators as well as the public on the board website, and no comments or edits were received, so what we presented last month is what we are presenting this month for final approval. There are 4 motions under this action item, and I will read each one of them separately, okay? The first motion, the superintendent recommends the board approve the second and final reading and adoption of policy EF, food services, issue 1096.
Motion from one board member.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the second and final reading and adoption of policy EF food service, issue 1096.
A second.
We have a second? Green. Y'all, my blood is low. That's why this thing going on. So I just wanted to,
Oh, yes.
stop it from going off. It's low. Okay. Yeah. So,
Yes.
motions. We did. This is, green second. This kind of started me right there.
Okay, the second, I'm sorry.
I know it's second, final, reading. Motion made, second by Ms. Green. Do we have any questions? Questions, any? Okay. All in favor show by the raising of the right hand.
The second motion, the superintendent recommends the board approve the second and final reading and adoption of policy GCB, professional staff contracts and compensation, issue 297.
Can we get a motion?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the second and final reading and adoption of policy GCB, professional staff contracts and compensation, issue 297.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Harrison Williams, second by Ms. Green. Do we have any questions? Any questions? All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Right here.
Okay, our third motion, the superintendent recommends the board approve the second and final reading and adoption of policy GCK, professional staff assignments and transfers, issue 297.
Can we get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion we accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the second and final reading and adoption of policy GCK, professional staff assignments and transfer, issue 297.
A second.
Second. Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Mr. Davis. Call the questions. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand.
Okay, and our fourth motion, the superintendent recommends the board approve the second and final reading and adoption of policy GCQC, GCQD, resignation of instructional staff, administrative staff, issued 301.
Can we get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
make a motion we accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the second and final reading and adoption of policy GCQC, GCQD, resignation of instructional staff, administrative staff, issue 301.
A second.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Mr. Davis. Call the questions. None. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand.
Next action item we have is another set of G policies. And the first policy we bring tonight is GBE, staff rights and responsibilities. The changes that we have suggested in this policy really just clarifies what the board and the district expects for staff members, all staff members, in their behavior, how they conduct themselves, how they interact with students, our expectations for confidentiality as it relates to student matters and student discipline. This was initially issued in 197, so we're just updating that language and reiterating and stating things about how the district expects for our staff members to behave and the rights and responsibilities that fall with having a position in the district. So that's policy GBE. The next policy is GCQF, discipline, suspension, and dismissal of professional staff. The updates outline the procedure for a supervisor that has concerns with the staff member, and how those should be addressed. We have never surprised a staff member that we had concerns with. This again, I think I've said it before, it's things that we've always done. We just need to update our policy on how we're doing those things. Spells out some things that are automatic misconduct concerns. It gives the rights and responsibilities of teachers based on their contract level. And that policy initially had an administrative rule that accompanied it, so there's a motion that we no longer need the rule. So you also will see a motion to rescind the rule. We're keeping the policy, but the policy is so detailed that we don't need that additional rule to go along with it. So with this particular action item, there are 3 motions associated with it. The first motion, the superintendent recommends the board approve the first reading revision and adoption of policy GBE, staff rights and responsibilities, issued 197.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the first reading revision and adoption of policy GBE, staff rights and responsibilities, issued 197.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Ms. Green. Call the questions. All in favor of the first reading, show by raising of the right hand.
Thank you. Second motion, the superintendent recommends the board approve the first reading revision and adoption of policy GCQF, discipline, suspension, and dismissal of professional staff, issued 1299.
Get a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the first reading revision and adoption of policy GCQF, discipline, suspension, and dismissal of professional staff, issued 1299.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Ms. Green. I'm going to call the question. Any questions? All in favor, show by raising of the right hand.
A third motion, the superintendent recommends the board approve the first reading recension of administrative rule GCQF, discipline, suspension, and dismissal of professional staff, issued 1299.
Get a motion.
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the first reading recension of administrative rule GCQF, discipline, suspension, and dismissal of professional staff, issued 1299.
A second.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Mr. Davis. Call the question. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand.
And lastly, tonight, there's one other policy that we need to rescind, because in your first set of policies, you approved the update of policy GCB, and I guess the things that are in the policy we're recommending to rescind are covered under that policy. So we don't want to have redundant policies
That's
that are
right.
not necessary. So this recommendation is the superintendent recommends the board approve the first reading rescinding of policy GBC, staff compensation, issued 197.
Can we get a motion, please?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the first reading in reading rescinding policy GBC, staff compensation, issued 197.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Mr. Davis.
Questions?
Call to question. All in favor of rescinding, show the raising of the right hand. Thank you, Dr. Campbell.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Human resource.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and
Yes.
members of the board.
Good evening.
Under HR this evening, we have the following items for your approval.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 1, certified resignation terminations. The superintendent recommends that the board approve the certified resignation terminations in Exhibit 1A and 1B.
Can we get a motion, please?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the certified resignation termination in Exhibit 1A and 1B.
Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Harrison Williams, second by Ms. Green, to accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the certified resignation termination of Exhibit 1A and 1B. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. All right. Go right there. Yes.
Item 2, certified recommendations. The superintendent recommends that the board approve the professional certified educators outlined in Exhibit 2A and 2B.
Let me get a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the professional certified educators outlined in Exhibit 2A and 2B.
Second.
Motion, excuse me. Motion made by Mrs. Harrison Williams, second by Ms. Green, to accept the superintendent recommendation. The board approved the professional certified educators outlined in Exhibit 2A and 2B. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Thank you.
Lastly, we have HR item 3, classified recommendations. The superintendent recommends that the board approve the classified staff listed in Exhibit 3.
Can we get a motion?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the classified staff listed in Exhibit 3.
I second.
Motion made by Mrs. Harrison Williams, second by Mr. Davis, to accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the classified staff listed in Exhibit 3. All in favor, show by raising of the right hand. Thank you. Just wanted to move to the board chair report. Just as Mr. Presley has stated that we got a lot of things going on in finishing out the school, and it's not school year, but end of this year, okay? And so, as you say, we got a little, I was called today and asked me, could I make it to the middle school on tomorrow? So they're having some type of Christmas with the band, orchestra, I think with all three of them coming in together, conjunction. And so I'm gonna try my best to get over there by 5:30, Mr. President. And so also, I was just notified by, I think Mr. Davis told me about something about the seniors are having some type of, what the orchestra is going to play for the senior citizen on, when is that, Mr. Davis?
Ought to be this Thursday at 11 o'clock.
This Thursday at 11 o'clock that morning? Is that morning?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. 11 o'clock that morning, so the orchestra will be going down there to the, what we call it, the seniors at, what do we call it?
Council on Aging.
Council on Aging, okay. So that's wonderful. And so, you know, our orchestra, they sound good, don't they? Our kids are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Amazing. And so, I just, I want to echo on Mr. Presley, you know, as he was talking, I want you to go out and have a good time during your holidays, but be safe, you know, be safe. Got to watch out for the other driver. And I do it every day, you know? Every day, it's people running stop sign and what have you. Just be careful. And tell your kids every day you love them. Because I know I tell mine, they grown, but they say, Daddy, you so, yeah, but that's all right. I love you. You know, they can get in their 50. I still love them. Just wanted to do that, and we'll come back. Anybody else have any else? Ms. Harris, you got anything?
So this Sunday is our annual Feed and Fairfield at the middle school from 11 to 2. It's a drive-through. So if anybody want to stop by, get a hot meal, you know anybody that need it, I have several people that actually deliver to the elderly, which is a good thing. So if anybody want to come by and get a meal or just get a meal and drop it off to somebody in need, definitely would appreciate that. And I wanted to wish everybody happy holidays, be safe, get plenty of rest, because I'm planning on getting some rest and eat my crab legs that we have every Christmas Eve, our seafood bash, so I'm looking forward to that.
I haven't been invited. You didn't invite me.
He have, he's never been. His brother has been, but he's never been.
She knows that he don't eat much. So she won't invite me because she know I eat a lot.
Right, they're real high now, so we can't afford it. I just want to wish y'all a happy holiday. And my gala is coming up, Valentine's Day. It is a masquerade ball. It's going to be something to see. So hopefully y'all can come out and enjoy.
All right. Davis, you got anything?
Yes, sir, Chairman Miller. I'd just like to reiterate on what you said about this coming Thursday. The orchestra will be performing up at the Council on Agency at 11 o'clock this Thursday. Also, last year we fed the senior citizens up there at the Council on Agency, but this year we're going to do something a little different. We'll be having them a senior citizen Christmas ball. So if anyone that's want to come out and support or anything, you're more than welcome. The hours will be from 11 to probably about 1. It'll be lots of fun. We have gifts, entertainment for the senior citizens. It's just a joyful event to see the seniors, you know, be just blessed by others in the district and stuff. Lastly, if you remember a few years before COVID, we used to do the Martin Luther King parade. So this coming year, January 17th, we plan on starting that back up. We have applications out. Some people have been signing up, so we're trying to get that started back up. And the lineup will be at 9 a.m. The parade will actually start at 10 a.m. So hopefully you can make it out. January the 17th, 9 a.m. is the lineup, 10 a.m. the parade starts.
Pastor Jackson, you got anything?
I just want to reiterate everything that's been said about the holidays and so forth. And I'd be remiss if I wouldn't say, don't forget the reason for the season.
That's right.
And we all need to remember what it's all about. We're giving gifts and celebrating because we have been given the greatest gift of all.
That's right.
Thank you. Mr. Singers.
I would just like to say on the great report that the superintendent gave, he forgot about this big thing we had at Kelly Miller Thursday when Ms. Woodard gave the state of the school address, and everything was wonderful. And I thoroughly enjoyed all the information that she presented at her state of the school.
Okay, now, I just want y'all to know.
On last weekend, I know, just where I was going. Last weekend, Ms. Green and Boyd went down, but she was our legislative person that went to our meetings. She voted, and she did all the things that we voted for her to do. So she's going to give us an update on that report. Ms. Green.
First, I want to say happy holidays to everyone and be safe as well. Last week, we went down to Charleston to the yearly South Carolina School Board Association Legislative Conference advocacy. But we voted on different resolutions. We did a total of 33 resolutions. With the resolutions, we have an opportunity to review them before they go into policy. And of the 33, there were 29 that were actually current legislative resolutions. Of those resolutions, we changed a little bit of our verbiage. We, for example, in one, it referred to the internet accessibility to children everywhere in the state. And this was made up of all the school board or a member of every school board throughout South Carolina. Everybody has different numbers of votes depending on the size of your district. The verbiage that we changed for the internet was that it would be accessible to all children or all students in South Carolina, as where some misunderstood it to be that we were going to connect it to everyone's homes. We're not trying to do that. We're just trying to make it accessible, like Spectrum's doing to us. We can't connect it to your house because we can't afford that, but we have to make it accessible, or we want the state to make sure it's accessible. In Section 2, we did proposed and new resolutions. The one that I thought was most interesting was the inclusion of employability credentials for schools or for courses. We all know that special education, 45 years, but special education affects everybody's report card grade. It brings us down because they don't receive a diploma. If we offer them criteria or employability criteria or certification throughout the state, then it will affect our report card. It'll bring our grades up, but it'll be unified throughout the state, which is great. Another one that we also proposed, which is also a new one, is the testing mandated for private and charter schools. We all know that they are receiving monies and they're not required to do what we do. We just want an even playing field. Everybody has to do state testing. Everybody has to go through all the criteria necessary to receive any funds like we would. And we would be on even playing field. We also wanted to try, well, they selected two to eliminate, and one of them that we chose not to was the lottery funding for K-12. They had initially thought that we would get rid of that because the lottery's not doing as well as it was. They're not buying as many lottery tickets as they did in the past, and a lot of the money for our scholarships for life and other scholarships that the state offers was coming out of the general funds. But the delegates, all of us, we decided we want to keep it in there. So we're going to maintain that in our resolution to be presented to the legislative office. And basically, that's about it. I mean, it was very informative. Every board member had an opportunity to get up and express themselves. If you've seen something that you disagreed with in regards to the 33 resolutions, you had an opportunity to either review the resolution and or the rationale and change the verbiage to what you think it was most appropriate. And then everybody voted on it, and majority won. So, but like I said, we've only changed basically 5 or worked with 5 different resolutions through this time. Are any questions?
Great job, Ms. Green.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chairman Miller.
Okay.
Chairman,
Mr. President.
I have one final thing I'd like to say, if it's all right. every now and then we all need a little shot of energy or adrenaline or something to keep us going, something to make us remember that we are important.
Yes, sir.
In our sessions, I was particularly impressed with the session where the legislators were there and they were making presentations and answering questions. And one of them said that we need to keep in mind that as educators, we are first responders.
Yes.
And what that means is that we're the ones that teach everything. And we give that little shot of adrenaline and those first steps, the foundation to everything, because we teach everything. As parents, let us not forget to keep teaching our children and let us not fall by the wayside when we get a little weary. Just remember, we are all first responders, and that's our job.
Thank you, Professor Jackson. Okay, that's well stated.
Yes, sir. And Reverend Jackson, I'm going to piggyback on what you said. First responders, I had the opportunity to meet with my student advisory group this past week. Oh, yes. And so I met with a group of students from the middle and the high school, representing 2 students from every grade level, and from 7th to 12th. And those students gave me so much valuable information, and they really gave that true, authentic student voice, and I'm hearing it from the mouths of the students we serve and from their perspective. So just to piggyback, we are the first responders, and I heard from the folks that we are treating this past week. And last 2 announcements, we will be sending out our magnet programs and district choice opportunities at the first of the year. So those dates are coming up. So families, please be on the lookout of that. Be on the lookout for that. And board member, Mr. Siebels, that presentation by Principal Woodard at Kelly Miller Elementary was superb. I take your comment to say that you want a State of the District presentation? All right, I got you. Thank you. Challenge accepted.
Lastly, I just wanted to, I don't want to call anybody out, but now I was told these Christmas bags, this come from your department, Dr. Campbell?
The Campbell household.
Okay, Campbell. Well, I had a chance to read it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, that was what I was going to say. Thank you.
This time, can I get a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Ms. Green. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Meeting adjourned.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Campbell.